Is the government killing brand IIT, IIM and AIMS by mindlessly announcing the setting up of more institutes without first fixing the problems in the existing institutes? I just have one figure I want to put out. Between 2008 and 2011, the government set up 7 new IIMs, 8 new IITs. Most of them have not been able to fill up even half the sanctioned number of posts for professors. The vacancies at IITs are 4,521. The sanction strength is 11,920. At IIMs, there are 737 total posts sanctioned, out of which the vacancies are 156. Fix first what you have before overreaching. And are you just diluting this brand of IIT, IIM and AIMS in the manner in which the government is acting? Let me introduce you to the center stage panelists for tonight. First and foremost, Sudhindra Kulkarni, here in his capacity as an alumni of IIT Bombay. With us also Jayant Sinha, Member of Parliament of the Bharatiya Janata Party and alumni of IIT Delhi. Mohandas Pai is chairperson of Manipal Global Education. He's on the board of directors of 2 IITs. Sunil Alag is with well-known brand consultant, also an alumni of IIM Calcutta. I want to go across first to Sudhindra Kulkarni, and why you think it is a very bad idea for the Modi government to have done what they have, because everybody loved it. Every state wants an IIT, they want an IIM. Do you think brand IIT and IIM are being killed by the government?
You know, this very idea that each state should have an IIT is bringing a kind of a regionalism into the concept of and the aspiration to have world-class technology institutes. You know, when the first 5 IITs were set up, it's not that Maharashtra was given IIT in Bombay or Uttar Pradesh was given IIT in Kanpur. That was not the idea. These were national institutes. Now slowly, you know, we have come to a stage where the government itself says that each state will have an IIT. Now, this is of course diluting and devaluing the brand or the reputation of IIT.
You set this debate up really well.
Yeah. No, I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
You see, if you want to set up top-class technology institutes, don't give the name IIT. You know, it's not necessary of Caltech, California Institute of Technology. It doesn't have a, you know, national Kyoto University. Is world class, but it is based on a certain city.
Let me put all your propositions to Jayant Sinha.
You know, which
why
have a
just
different name?
Blindly the name IIT, IIM, AIMS. There's only one Harvard. We don't have a single Harvard, a global institute of repute where there's a lot of cutting edge research. You've got these brands, you are setting them up. Our ground report showed in most of the new IITs and IIMs that have been set up by the UPA, 7 new IIMs, 8 new IITs, they don't have land, they don't have infrastructure, they haven't been able to fill up the post of teachers. Graduates who are coming out are earning abysmal salary. You have already killed the brands of these institutes, and what your government has done yesterday will hasten and add to that process, Mr. Sinha.
Yeah, I think we are asking the wrong question, Rahul. It's not about the brand. It really is about serving the national interest, and the national interest requires that we have high quality technology institutions that produce qualified and employable graduates. Now, there are many analogies and models that we can use. You can talk about Harvard or Stanford, but I could also speak about the University of California system, which has many different campuses. So you have University of California, San Diego, Los Angeles, Riverside, Berkeley. And it's very clear to employers, to other universities, which of these campuses actually are higher quality campuses compared to others. And I think that's exactly what's happening with the IITs as well. Frankly, and Sudhinji will I'm sure reinforce this as well, even when we had just the 5 IITs, there was a very clear pecking order within the IITs, just like there is a pecking order within the Ivy League in the United States right now. So there is always a pecking order, and the elite employers, the elite universities that recruit from these technology institutes recognize very well which of these institutions is higher up in the pecking order compared to the others.
You're killing the brand, Jayant. I have some data over here which shows that IIT Jodhpur placed only, hear my question before you answer it. IIT Jodhpur placed only 79.2% of its students, IIT Hyderabad 85, Indore 85, Ropar 86. You're not even getting full placement, and even over here, the average salary is 3.5 lakh rupees per annum, which is lesser than even an institute like the NIT. The IITs were supposed to be a premier brand. Even over the past 5 years through what the government has done, the brand has been killed. There is no premium attached to the IITs, and you are adding to that process, Jayant.
Well, no, I think that's a simple-minded view of brands as well, Rahul, and I think in fact it's the wrong question. Mercedes is a brand, but within Mercedes you have an S-Class, you also have an A-Class. So even within the overall brand family, there is a pecking order. That's exactly what's happening to the IITs right now. But it still is a Mercedes. It still adheres to a certain basic standard, which these IITs don't. Can our producer run those images once again on the screen? You please look at the images of IIT Ropar. Look at some of these institutes. They don't even look like IIT. They look like a government school. I want to bring in Sunil Alag because Jayant Sinha argues that you can have many IITs. It's like a franchise model. There can be multiple IITs. Do you agree, or do you think the government is killing brand IIT AIMS and IIM by doing what it is doing, by putting quantity over quality, Mr. Alag?
You know, actually the fundamental problem that is being forgotten in brand building, and I think I know a little bit about it, you don't have 47 Harvards in America where every state has an Harvard. Harvard has a pecking order, Pennsylvania will have a pecking order, Columbia will have a pecking order, but they are different brands. Once you have Harvard in every state, 50 states in the United States, then you try and give them a pecking order, and it's not the same as marketing Mercedes. First and foremost, you don't have the raw material, you don't have the teachers, you don't have the wherewithal to create so many IITs. What is the rush? What is the panic? If you say, I've got a 50-year plan to create an IIT in every state, I might buy it. But if you think in the next, I know I am on the board of IIM Bangalore. All the new IIMs which have come up in Shillong, they're all starved of teachers. Nobody, no institute, you're ruining the brand name completely. It is impossible. You can have an IIM Bangalore saying, will you have 5 Cambridge universities, 5 Oxford universities going around? You won't. There is a certain thing which is a brand which is restricted to a particular image. It's taken something like 30 or 40 years to build an IIM brand. And here we come along and we just want to destroy it overnight because we don't. If we had all the best teachers, if we had all the best classrooms, if we had all the money, if we had the caliber of everything else, then yes.
No, but that's not the case.
We are struggling.
I want to go across to Mohandas Pai, as somebody who serves on the board of these IITs. You've seen the problem from within.
We moved from Ahmedabad to Bangalore and we struggled. We struggled for teachers. I mean, come on, you know, if it's like saying, I want to create all this, great. It's like somebody saying, I found 1 horseshoe, I'll find 3 more and I'll buy a horse.
No. I'm looking here, Mohandas Pai, at the number of posts vacant only in the IITs. In virtually every institute that I look at the new institutes.
I'm against all this.
Okay, one second. Mohandas Pai, at each of these institutes, about half the teachers are not there. You've got huge problems of infrastructure. Why then do you think it's a good idea, Mr. Pai, to start these new IITs and IIMs?
Let me explain that. I don't know whether you got the latest data about faculty teachers. I think the data may be old.
No, our data is absolutely new.
They're going. No, I don't know what year it is, but let me explain the data to you. They're going by. Please, let me finish. Rahul, let me finish. Rahul, let me finish.
This is the latest reply in the Lok Sabha, which we are looking at about the number of vacancies in each of these institutes. It's the reply that's been given in the Lok Sabha. I have the data right here. Yes, Mr. Pai.
Rahul, let me explain. You see, the IITs are going by the ratio of, I think, 10:1, that is 10 students per faculty. All over the world, in technology institute, adjunct faculty and teaching assistants are considered as faculty for taking the faculty ratio. Because you can't have professors, 1 professor for 10 students anywhere. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. And if you study all the norms, and we have studied it in our report, I think it's very, very clear. So I think this ratio has to be redone. 2, the IITs which are in the metropolitan areas are getting very good CVs, and they're able to fill up most of their vacancies. They're doing marketing. Some of the IITs are not doing marketing. They're not able to get it. And some IITs in remote places, which is a long location in that particular state, are suffering because they don't have the brand to get people from outside. Okay, but that problem is becoming less and less. And third, The IITs are having an all India test of students. They're not having a test only for Karnataka or Goa. So the students are coming from all over. So the all India character is not being lost if you have a IIT in every state. And the next, I like Jayant Sinha's argument that is part of an IIT system. The IIT was started as not a standalone institution right from the beginning. It was started as a system. Now the system is getting expanded. China has started 100 institutions of the type of the IIT over the last 15 years. And all of them are doing very well.
No, but
and if you
that's a completely wrong example, Mr. Alak, because there's a certain quality in this business of setting up new institutes. Quality is being lost, Mr. Pai.
Rahul, let me talk about quality. Rahul, let me talk about quality.
Yes,
Rahul,
Mr. Pai.
In a country of 1.25 billion, if you have 500,000 people competing for 10,000 seats, I think it's ridiculous. We need to enhance the capacity. Now let's talk about students. Let's talk about quality. Quality has two facets. One is the incoming students and second is the faculty. As far as students are concerned, if you tell me that only 10,000 people are fit to get into IIT out of 14 lakh students who compete in the big exam, maybe 500,000 who compete for IIT, I think it's ridiculous.
No, but that's the wrong argument. I don't agree with that at all. It's not about getting people in because they're good. It's about ensuring that people get in and get a good education. Sunil Alak wants to respond. Just 1 second, Mr. Pai. Let Alak make a point.
Business schools, 1 second. Yes, you know, you are wanting to create business schools, you are wanting to create institutes of technology. You don't have to call them IIT on day one. Why don't you call it the Karnataka Institute of Technology, like you have the Birla Institute of Technology? Why does everything have to become IIT overnight? Why do you want to ruin the brand name right away? Let it become the Assam Institute of Management. Let it become the Bihar Institute of Management.
You had the IIM system, they took 100 students for 25 years. ISB came with 700 students. They got a better brand than the IIMs. What are you talking?
Look, why did you have the Bihar? Look, you have the Pilani Institute of Technology.
That's a very important question. Jayant Sinha must respond to that. That why not call it, say, just the Bihar Institute of Technology? Why must everything, whether or not it adheres to the basic standards of being an IIT, IIM or AIMS, why call everything IIT, IIM and AIMS?
I think, well, if Sunil would give the rest of us a chance, we try and answer.
Yes, Mr. Sinha, go ahead.
Sunil, will you give the rest of us a chance, please? Will you give us a chance?
Yeah.
Look, I have been to both IIT and to Harvard, okay? So I know a little bit about elite institutions here. And I will tell you that we have to serve the national interest here, not be in love with some elitist brand that we are conjuring up for ourselves. Let's try and understand what these institutions are. These are institutions of national importance. They are funded by the taxpayer and they are for the benefit of the general public, not for a few elite people. And I think it's important that the IIT and the IIM brand, which has some resonance, should be extended to cover these institutions. Building institutions is not a short-term thing. If they don't have faculty today or they don't have campuses today, we have to put it in the context of a Harvard that was founded more than 350 years ago, a Cambridge that was founded more than 1,000 years ago. It takes a long time to build an institution like this.
Okay, Mr. Kulkarni, do you accept this argument to give it time? If it hasn't happened over the past 5 years, it doesn't mean it can't happen immediately. These institutes require time to establish themselves.
You know, we need to differentiate. You know, there's something called brand differentiation. If you want some premier institutes, you know, they should stand on their own. And even our own IITs, the 5 original IITs, they are not anywhere in the global rankings, the first 100. So the one of the priorities of the new government ought to be, how do we take, you know, the first 5 or 6 or whatever number of IITs into absolutely world-class technology institutes. That should be one of the priorities, and not bring everything down to a lowest common denominator. That's one more point I want to make. You see, there are already a lot of good engineering colleges in the country which need support, and they can become IIT-like institutes. You know, we at the Observer Research Foundation, Mumbai, you know, we have done a very good study of how COEP, College of Engineering, Pune, in the past 10 years, with the help of IIT Bombay, has become an IIT-like institution. You know, this twinning program, one IIT lifting, you know, a promising college. But we need not make COEP into a IIT Pune.
That's a very important point.
You know, we can have...
because we have a real problem, Mr. Pai, and I just want to play those images from what is supposed to be IIT Jodhpur. It's a joke. It's a complete joke, the sort of infrastructure from where these institutes are being run, the lack of faculty. Now, even the 5 top IITs are not part of the global 150. Shouldn't we try and set those right? Set right what we have instead of trying to build a new?
Rahul, let me explain that, please. Rahul, in the global ranking for which I got some competence because I'm part of an organization which works with the global ranking organizations, research has a very high component, okay? And the funding for research has to come from public services. Our IITs are teaching institutions and they're not research-based institutions. That's the way they've been configured if you read the IIT Act. So research occupies a lesser post. Yes, research should occupy a greater post as they grow along. ISC is a research-based institution. The Indian Institute of Science, and they have a better ranking because of a Nobel laureate. So if you give them the money for research, if you give them much more investment, it can automatically happen. It'll take some time. They're different kind of.
No, but where is the mention in the budget about any of this? Mr. Jayant Sinha, there is no mention. There is a this government said it will stay away from populism.
Grand plan of happening.
No, but this government promised it will not be populist, Mr. Sinha.
Can I say something?
The first thing that you do is announce 4 IITs, 4 IIMs. You've given us no plan for what you will do for the premier institutes and how you will bring them into the list of the global 100, Mr. Sinha.
Rahul,
just one by one. Please follow my cue. Let Jayant Sinha come in. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Pai. Yes, Mr. Sinha.
Rahul, the President of India has taken meetings and they've improved in the last 2 years. Please see the ranking improvement for the IIT in the last 2 years. The President of India has taken meetings. They must put all the data on the web. They don't put the data in the web. They have disregard for the global rankings. They don't participate. There's an attitude.
I'm looking at global rankings here. India barely, in any Indian institute, barely makes it to the global top 200. You have no plan, Mr. Sinha, about what you intend to do to fix that. Jayant Sinha.
That is because they don't give the adequate information on the web.
I am baffled. Rahul,
yes, Mr.
Rahul,
Sinha.
I must say I'm baffled by this. I must say I'm baffled by this discussion. We are a $2 trillion economy with some of the smartest faculty and some of the smartest students in the world. It's not a either or. This is a false trade-off. Of course, we can have institutions.
We don't have the smartest faculty, Mr. Jayant Sinha. I don't know what you're talking about. An assistant professor gets about 75,000 rupees per month. He's teaching in quota. He's earning 1 crore rupees in quota. He's not teaching at the top IIT IIMs.
And we do not have.
We don't have the best faculty. I don't know how you make that claim, Mr. Jayant Sinha. The best faculty is in private sector. You're not figuring out a way of keeping them in the government sector in the first place. That's one of the big problems even with current IITs and IIMs.
We do not have.
Rahul,
Jayant Sinha.
I bet the faculty of the IITs. Find out that you'll get.
If you will let me, if both of you will let me finish what I was saying.
Yes, Mr. Sinha.
Both of you will let me finish what I was saying. I was saying that we have the smartest faculty.
Putting it on a wrong premise.
If you will just let me finish. If this is setting. We have a $2 trillion economy. We can build the best research institutes and we can build the best quality universities.
Mr. Alag, let him finish.
As well. No, maybe we should give Mr. Alag the floor. He clearly is itching to say something. Mr. Alag,
no, but Jayant Sinha, I'm sorry, I contest when you say that IITs and IIMs have the best faculty. They do not. There's a massive attrition in each of the IIT IIMs. You haven't been able to fill their vacancies and you're claiming they have world-class faculty. So I'm sorry, they don't.
I went to two very good academic institutions and I was taught that when somebody else is speaking, you don't interrupt. So I will honor that. If others don't want to honor it, then I'm sorry, I can't speak. But I'm telling you that we as a country and as a $2 trillion economy have the resources and the talent to build world-class universities as well as to extend the systems that we have right now. In the budget, you will see that there was significant mention of strengthening our research capacity, and I also know it for a fact that our IITs, the top IITs, do not lack for resources right now. So we have different challenges that we have to face in terms of incentives, motivation, ensuring that we get the very best faculty competing against the best universities in the world. We have to deal with all of that. I'm not saying it's not a challenge and it's not important, but I think we should be aspirationally willing to take on both tasks, which is to create more institutes which are world class and really high quality, as well as take the best of the
I want Sunil Alag and Sudhindra Kulkarni to come in on what you're saying. You're saying it's not an either or. Mr. Alag, to you first, it's not an either or. You can improve current institutes and build new ones at the same time.
First I want to correct Jayant. All IITs are losing money. Okay, there's not a single one which has been able to stand on its own feet to date. The IIMs have just about begun. It's only IIM Calcutta, Bangalore and Ahmedabad which does not need government funding. Okay, now let's get the facts right first. Who gave the Mercedes example? I don't know. So, okay, Germany has great Mercedes. So all companies, all car companies should now have Mercedes only. Why have different brands? Oh, I have the best car making company in the world. So we will call every car that comes out of Germany Mercedes. So let's ruin everything that we have created. I am not against the fact that we've got bright students. I am not against the fact that we should create the best institutes. I'm not against the fact that we should have the best IIMs. All I'm saying is, let each state start the process. Then bring the brand name. Don't bring the brand name and ruin it. That's the only point
That's
I'm
a very
making.
important argument. Do you think it's not an either or, as Jayant Sinha argues, Mr. Kulkarni, that you can do both tasks at the same time?
See, of course,
we need the institutes for sure.
Look at the budget. The budget allocated 500 crores for 5 new IITs and 5 new IIMs. You know, this is suboptimal. You cannot have an IIT with such low allocation. The point is, you know, it is absolutely right for every state to aspire to have top class technology institutions. But why call all of them IITs? This is the point, that you know, if we have a true $2 trillion economy, if we have the resources, which is at the moment contestable, we need to provide more resources to the existing top IITs to become research-based institutes and become, you know, equal to Caltech and MIT and Kyoto University.
That's a
at
very
the same time,
compelling argument.
At the same time,
Mr.
you know, all
Mohandas
the universities, you know, all the states, you know, have very promising engineering colleges, engineering institutes. Support them. They need not become IITs, but they can become IIT-like.
Sunil Alagh says, do it in phases, Mr. Mohandas Pai. Acquire the land, build an institute, let it come to the standard of being an IIT or an IIM before you call it an IIT or an IIM. Just making this plot in Jodhpur and saying it's an IIT Jodhpur is a joke.
Rahul,
yes,
if you
Mr.
look at the 5 IITs
comments.
that started and the big gap that was there before the other IITs came, I mean, our students are being deprived of very good education. You start an IIT, what does it matter? I mean, people will differentiate, they will get good faculty. It's a management issue. And being on the board of IITs, I know how difficult it is for the faculty and the director to start a new campus. It's not the availability of money, it is a management issue. They don't have the bandwidth. Now, the government has told the director that he must start a campus and build it. They are suffering, and because CVC, C&AG, and because of CBI, they're all scared to take decisions.
Okay.
The model of building a campus, it doesn't work. So you've got to empower them and think about a different model.
Two
they're
sets
able to
of
get faculty.
points,
I've been on IIT Bhubaneswar, they're getting
argued
faculty.
and passionately argued, but completely the opposite sets of points. You've got Mohandas Pai and Jayant Sinha on the one side, Sudhindra Kulkarni and Sunil Alagh on the other. You decide what you believe is the right approach. We don't tell you what to think. We leave it to you, our viewers, to decide what you think is right. For the time being, Mr. Mohandas Pai, Jayant Sinha, Sunil Alagh and Sudhindra Kulkarni for joining us on the Centre Stage Face Off tonight. Thank you very much.